What you see here is my Miro event modeling toolkit, a Miro extension for event modeling. And some of the features I added recently really changed the way I'm working. Let's say we have our small to-do item, to-do app here. What I want to do is I just make this two slices. Slices is our unit of work basically, and I make them equal size. Now I have two slices. The first thing I can do now is, and this is new, you can assign tickets to a slice. So for example, if I say my ticket number is OSD1234, for example, if you look at that, there is a Jira.com before the ticket number. So I can directly jump to the ticket. Where does this URL come from? It comes from the context. Looking at the context, what you can do is you can provide your ticketing base URL, and this allows you to jump directly to your tickets. What you also can do is selecting the slice again. You can put in a fully qualified URL here per slice, which also allows you to jump to the ticket. So both is possible. Quite neat. The other thing I added recently was the possibility to change items here directly on the board. So for example, if I want to add the name of the user here, I can just do it like this, and look what happens. This item turns red immediately. Quite neat, because now I can make all those changes and I can see exactly where changes apply, which elements are affected. And then if I did everything right, I see the impact, and then I can go item by item, and you see you can either apply the changes from the sticky note or you can discard them. If you discard them, these changes just disappear. If you apply them, we just take the changes from the sticky note back to the item. Quite neat. The next thing is we have the newly adjusted specification builder. So if you go to the specification builder here, you can build your scenarios here. Just select given an item was already added. When I try to add another item here with the same item ID, for example, this is not possible. Item IDs have to be unique. And then you can now decide, okay, what happens? Either it's another event that you select to describe your target system state, or you say, oh, item with the same ID cannot be added twice. You describe the error case here. So look what happens. Now we have this here, and the error case is directly here. So you can now describe the error case. And the great thing now is you can even select the scenario and you can say copy scenario. What happens is you have now a new scenario, which is a copy, and you can just adjust this. So for example, in this case, we can say, oh, there is no error here. Then it's just another item added event. None of those changes is spectacular, but these are just small, tiny little helpers that make your life a little bit easier. There is an extensive documentation available. If you go to eventmodelers.de and go to the Get Started section, there you have all the documentation for all the features in this toolkit. The specification view with screenshots showing you exactly what to do and what to change. Also, you have the blog here, which has more than 50 blog entries. So there's a lot of information here. You have tons of videos which are available. You have the podcast linked here, currently 27 episodes. Yesterday we recorded 28. You have the book, which is here. So many information, so much things you can do. Really great. And if you want to play around with event modeling, there is also the app.eventmodelers.de, which is the Miro event modeling toolkit, just without any Miro. So what you can do is you can just create your board here, and you can just play around with it. Create your first event, add it. This is my event. Great. Add a few attributes here, like name, like email. You can play around with that and make it a slice. One-click modeling also works perfectly well here. So you can do everything you want here directly in the web and play around with event modeling. All this stuff gives you a quick start in event modeling. Hope it helps. See you next time.